Happy holidays! My name is Jessica Lynn, and I am the owner and artist of JessicaLynnOriginal.com. Be sure to take a look. I will put links down below. Now, I decided it was time to make some Christmas cards because, one, I haven't really started a whole lot of them yet, and two, Wisconsin ended up getting about 4 inches of snow today. And I decided, okay, it is time. And it's a little early. It is Halloween Eve. So it's, well, actually, it's already November 1st now because I'm doing this very late at night today. And what I decided to do was to use a silhouette approach to this card. And again, it's going to fit just on a normal cardstock. And I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be a fun project. I'm excited for you to see how it's going to turn out. If you've seen the thumbnail already, you know that it's a very cool pairing of cards. It is a true not waste of paper, so you will be using both the silhouette as well as the actual cut cardstock to make 2 cards with this project, which I love. I love being able to cut once and make 2 cards out of some of the patterns. Now, if you've never used a Brothers Scan and Cut, I will link down below what I'm doing here right now, where I'm scanning it in, making my own die cut. It's really an extremely easy process. Just know though, if you don't have a Brothers Scan and Cut, you could use a Cricut to do this. You could also use die cuts. So if you had a really beautiful die cut and let's say it goes along with one of your stamp sets, but it's just an outline of something. If it is a clear enough die cut, you could use that in the same fashion I'm using here. So it'll make more sense in a moment, but just know that you don't necessarily have to have a Brothers Scan and Cut to do this process. Now what I'm doing right now is just making sure that it's going to fit the right size card. It's one of the things that I really do like about the Brothers Scan and Cut is I can go in and adjust the sizes as needed. Even on my saved patterns, so if it's something I designed and created months ago, I can definitely still do that. So now what I'm going to do is I've loaded up some cardstock and I'm going to go ahead and cut that snowflake out. Once I had the snowflake all cut out, I went ahead and I left off on the side, still on the Brothers Scan and Cut, all of the inner parts of that snowflake because I'm going to use those in a moment. But what I want to do is cut this down, and I'm going to cut it down so the snowflake is centered, and I want to cut it down to 3.5 by 5. So I want to have just a 1/2 inch all the way around the card. Well, it'll end up being 1/4 of an inch on either side, but a 1/2 inch, if you will, taken off the normal card size, because I do want it to have a riser effect where you can still see the cardstock behind it. Again, I promise it will make more sense once you see it in just a moment. So again, all I'm doing is trimming it down, and I'm taking about 1/4 of an inch off either side, so that my finished card will be sitting at approximately 3.5 by 5. I decided that the Snowflake paper was maybe a little too busy. I couldn't decide, at least for the one that's going to be on foam risers. So I decided to go with the exact same paper minus the extra snowflakes on there, so it still looks just like cardstock. I really like this one because it almost has a burlap sort of feel to it. So it's something I've been really enjoying, Christmas cards, making them with like the craft paper, that brown paper color with white. I go through, you know, every year I kind of go through my different color styles. Some years I like lots of blues, some years I like a ton of color, reds and greens. For some reason though, this last year I've been really intrigued by, you know, more of the craft paper and the tans. So you can see this is how it's going to look when it goes on there. And what I want to do is make sure that it's high enough up that it's only, do you see how it just sort of lines up there? So we're going to go ahead and commit to that. I like that. That's nice. Perfect. All right. So what I did was I went ahead and took the brown burlap paper, we'll call it, and I went ahead and put it on the card itself. Then what I'm going to do is take my paper trimmer and I'm just going to get a nice clean edge. And I was super excited. I'm sure you all can understand when you start cleaning your office. And again, I'm going through a huge changeover in my office. And I found the paper trimmer again. And I was like, hooray! Small victories. So then once I have that on there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put foam risers now on this white cardstock. But because I've done this in the past, I remembered I need to first pull out the sentiment that I want to use. And the stamp set that we're going to use today, it is a Jessica Lynn original stamp set. So if you like this stamp set, you can purchase it. It's called Operation Snowball. And it features our adorable little Brentwood owl dressed up as a reindeer, as well as quite a few different sentiments. And the one that we're going to use today says, wishing you the happiest of holiday, and or holidays. And the font is actually my handwriting, so it's kind of cool. Like, it's how it would look if I was going to handwrite something for you. So I really think that's kind of fun. It's fun to have my handwriting immortalized in a stamp, so I love that. But this stamp is available on our website. We do have limited stock available of it, so be sure to pick it up. It's a great holiday stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use Close to My Heart. There is a chocolate colored ink that I have. So you can see I've got that open up on the top. And what I'm going to do is just use my clear block and stamp that all up. Now it's been a while since I've used this brown, so I'm just going to test it and see. And it was kind of messy. It was still definitely not dried out. So that made me happy that it was still hanging out, because I think I bought that probably 8 years ago. We're going to go ahead and stamp that down at the bottom, and look at how cool that looks. I love it. I love it. All right. So once we have that set, let me just close this. And my only complaint about Close to My Heart is when you have to flip those ink cartridges over, I always end up with ink all over my fingers. But again, there's our cute little Brentwood dressed as a reindeer. Operation Snowball. Again, I'll put the link down below. And let's go ahead and finish up this card. But while I am just grabbing my foam risers and everything, I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for watching our video. And if you like what we're doing so far, or you're intrigued, or you want to learn more about us and our company and get to see some of our fun projects, don't forget to subscribe down below. We are in the process of getting ready to launch a whole new series about small business, and I can't wait to show you guys that. I'm so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you do a lot of craft shows or anything like that, it's going to be fun. So now what I'm doing is I have my foam risers, and if you've watched my videos before, you know that they are one of my favorite tools that go in card making. I think it's just fun. They create a fun silhouette and shadow. And I went ahead and put plenty of them on there. Now you may even want to put more than I did, just to make sure your pattern doesn't sink, because think about it like pumpkins. You know, you carve a lot, but you have to make sure you have enough support, otherwise the pumpkin will, shrivel up. So same kind of thing with cards. You want to make sure that you leave plenty of support so that your inner pattern doesn't sink. Now once we have it on there, we're going to go ahead and line that up. And you can already see, look at how nice that shadow is. I love that. That is so cool. I love the foam risers and how they give like kind of a deeper shadow. So the next thing we do now, this is the part that's a little difficult. Now we're going to take the snowflake off of the Brother Scan and Cut, and we are going to make a second card today using the snowflake that we cut. Now I do have extremely small foam risers that I bought, and we are going to go ahead and put all these little tiny snowflake innards in the card as well. And you can see just how small these tiny little foam risers are. So when the first one I did, I was like, oh, I can just put this on there, no big deal. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to put all the little foam risers in the back of all of these, and then we'll peel them off. So let's go ahead and add all the innards to the snowflake. I am so happy with how this turned out. I think it looks so fun. I love the fact that that canvasy burlap in the background just looks so cool. I mean, what a simplistic card. And we are going to embellish just a little bit more at the end. So this is not done yet. This is still, I'd say, about 90% done. I got some fun stuff right at the end that I want to do. Now, what I want to do is make sure that we don't waste extra paper that we cut out. So I decided to take the snowflake paper that we had originally thought about using, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then we're going to use the same sentiment, because I think it'll be fun to show how they are just the mirror image of each other. And then we're going to glue down the snowflake, and then we'll do a little bit more embellishing. Alright, now that we've got all the glue on there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our snowflake and we are going to center it onto the brown burlap / snowflake filled paper, which I think is so cute. Definitely the sister pattern to the other one. And once we've got that all set, we're just going to put a nice crisp edge on there. Let's take a look and see how this looks. Look at how cool! It's like brother and sister cards. So you could do this with any kind of pattern, any kind of die cut, any kind of template. So just know this was just an idea to get your brain kind of going. You know, like, do you have a favorite die cut that you could use? Or, you know, favorite shape? Maybe you have like a cool Christmas tree shape that you could, you know, use. Now I am going to come back in with one of my other new favorite tools, which is the glossy accents. And what I'm going to do, I just have to use a little pin to open the top up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do, instead of just the snowflake, which was my initial instinct, I decided to fill in all of the innards. And then what I'm going to do is, and you can see how cool that looks. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go all the way around, just the edge of the snowflake, almost like I was outlining it with a black pen. Now, if you know me and you've seen my art before, I do like a heavy black line around my art. It comes from my love of animation and art style like that. And if you look at cartoons, they all have a very crisp, big, thick black line around them typically. And so most of my designs have that. And so I wanted to do my version of what I thought could be the big, thick black line around it without being so literal. And I really like it. I was not sure that I was going to love what I was doing, but when it dried, oh my goodness, that glossy accents around the snowflake, it just looks like it's wet and dewy like a snowflake. And I love it. It's really a fun thing. So, you know, play around with that. I mean, I bought a big bottle of the glossy accents, and I think they cost like $7 or $8, so not horrible. Especially when you consider how many projects you can do. And again, I will put all my supply lists down below, so if you're interested in learning more. And then something that I did a couple of weeks ago on one of my Christmas tags is I just did these little dots. And I am just in love with them because they just look like I put like little glossy stickers. And with the burlap, it almost kind of, I don't know, it needed something. And so you can see I just put tiny little dots all over this card. And when it dried, oh my goodness, this looks amazing. I love it. So I think when I'm making Christmas cards, the glossy accents truly is one of my favorite new tools. So you can see how I did that. Again, very similar, yet very different. And I didn't waste, I mean, I have 2 small strips of paper left over from this series of cards. So that's nothing. And I used the same stamp set, so I didn't have to buy multiple stamp sets. And I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Well, again, my name is Jessica Lynn, and I'm the owner of JessicaLynnOriginal.com. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. If you're returning, I'm glad you came back. I love having you here. Don't forget to comment down below. We'd love to hear from you with your ideas on maybe die cuts we could try. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again, and happy holidays.